Welcome everybody. How's everybody doing? This would be the first recording of the Bets by Line podcast. We're here in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand. We actually got here yesterday. It'd be myself. My name is Nicholas Gonzalez, and I'm over here actually with my buddy Irvin Ramos, who is a sound engineer as well. So we thought we'd have a great idea of trying to come down to Vegas on the weekend and maybe see if we can get some content. The content we're going after is sports betting. Has to do with both. Bets by Line is the line between sports and betting. So we're trying to add a new angle to the game, a new angle to sports betting, and see if we got some fans and listeners who can get entertained and who might draw some value through these lenses and through hearing these things. Being a bettor, superstition comes into play for some. Some is disregarded, and they look at just the logic and just the numbers. With that being said, we can easily see that there's a line being drawn between people who think in creatively different ways, analytics, or people who just, as some would say, bet with their heart. And we just want to point out those little nuances that make us different as sports bettors and gamblers in general. Because we all have the same goal, and the same goal is to win some money. I mean, let's be flat out honest. It's to win some money. No one's going into a bet to try to lose, right? But it's funny, we all have the same goal, yet we take different paths to get there. So we just want to break down those paths, those bets that get us to those victories. Some of those bets I started off with actually would be a parlay coming in here. So we came in here Sunday. Like I said, came in here kind of late. Didn't see all those early games, but we were able to catch that Heat ending and the Packers Saints game, which is around 5:00. So I opened up with a $25, or what I call a 1 unit for myself, 2-team parlay. And I'm taking the Saints and the over hit, and the Saints dropped that one. So that's how I opened up. I played a little bit of the tables, some roulette here at MGM Grand. Went to go eat at Ellis Island with Irvin. Was able to play a little bit of the tables there, some blackjack, ended up doing okay. Ended up coming back up from that sports betting loss. So all in all, it was a pretty, relaxing, just fun night. We wanted to see what fans would be out, what gamblers would be out, and sure enough, when it comes to football, the fans are a little bit more, I guess, patriotic, you can say in a sense. Anyways, here we are Monday. Still at the MGM Grand, getting it popping here in the morning. There's 2 big games today that we're eyeing in on. We're gonna see if we can go down to downtown. I got a buddy who moved out here who's doing some handicapping on the side. He's trying to make it a side hustle. He's actually an avid sports bettor. Been doing it for, I'd say, about 5+ years. To be modest. And he recently moved out here, so we're gonna go connect with him. That way we can see what the locals are doing, I guess, and see the downtown life, because that's where all the specials are, and that's where all the locals go. And anytime you travel, you gotta go where the locals go. At least that's what they say. So we're gonna go see what that's all about, and see if we can also catch some other avid sports gamblers down there. As for the casino itself in Vegas, if anybody's thinking what Vegas looks like these days during the whole COVID time of this 2020, it's actually kind of the same. And what I mean by that is, when you're around a lot of people in a casino and lights are flickering and music's playing, you just kick back into the routine of how things normally are. You notice the face mask requiring, of course, and the temperature gauges, and you'll notice the bars have It looks like a plastic or plexiglass separation to keep patrons, separated. Same thing over at the tables. You see patrons separated by that plexiglass. The players, I should say. So they're taking precautions down here at MGM Grand. I'd say they definitely got a good thing going. But that being said, it still feels normal. Um, with the whole mask sometimes fogging up your sunglasses or your glasses like I wear, that can get a little annoying down at the table. Having the dealer every minute or two telling some bystander to back up 6 feet, that's a little strange, especially when you're playing games like roulette, where you enjoy the crowd's energy, especially if you're getting hit on a number, or if you're betting that red or black and someone shows up and they're putting big money down on the same color you're betting. Those are things we draw energy from. Most avid gamblers would know that. And that's kind of what I was talking about in the beginning, about having that creative side, that superstition side to gambling. That's a lacking element, I would say, is what's missing with this whole COVID season, is the energy levels isn't quite the same. For instance, if you're down at a blackjack table and you hit a blackjack, or the dealer busts, you want to high five the table or the guy next to you. Well, that ain't going to happen during COVID season. So just those little things you got to be on the lookout for, just in case it affects your play. Because I know it affects my play style. A lot of things affect my play style, but most certainly I feel like the energy of the other players affect my play style. So if you're similar to that and that deters you, just make sure you're coming in here solid and understanding that maybe the level of play isn't going to be the same. So you got to make some adjustments. That way you can make some buckaroos. You can make some wins. You can come out of here on top, because that's our goal, right? That's our goal as gamblers. Okay, so the Monday games that we're actually going downtown for, we got a Stanley Cup Finals game. I think it's game 6. I want to say it's game 6. Could even be game 5. Yeah, we got Dallas Stars versus the Lightning, and Lightning are up right now. They can close this out, and they can bring a Stanley Cup to their franchise, which is a big deal. It's a big deal for the city. It's a big deal for the organization. It's a big deal in the media. It's a big deal for the gamblers. We like to take edge in games that have meaning most of the time. So this game has significant meaning. It's for the whole cup. On the other end of the sports slate, we got the Monday Night Football game. I believe it is the Kansas City Chiefs and Baltimore Ravens playing at 5 o'clock. Huge powerhouse teams. Two just young quarterback, I wouldn't even say prospects, because they've established themselves in Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. So that's gonna be a win for us watchers, us viewers at home, just fans watching the game. That's probably gonna be a high scoring, intense game. Could go back and forth. I'm not too sure. Haven't really dived quite in to the numbers of these teams, and it's still quite early. I know it's week 3, so anything's bound to happen. What is interesting, I see, is Ravens favored, and that's not to say it's surprising, but it is definitely interesting, because last season we all knew what the Ravens were about. We all knew that Lamar Jackson had arrived and proved all those haters wrong and was putting up astronomical numbers, things we haven't seen from a quarterback. Same thing could be said for Mahomes, but what I'm trying to say is we saw that the Ravens were going to get into a real driver's seat with control of the league, so to speak. And for them to come into this game against the Super Bowl champs and be favored, that's a raise in the eyebrow for some gamblers, I would say. I think they see an opportunity You see an opportunity anytime you see a money line for a Super Bowl champ, or any champ of that matter. If it was NBA returning champ, or if it was the MLB, title, you wouldn't take that game lightly. Okay, obviously they're the champs. That being said, when you see them with a plus, and you see there's a chance to make some money, you raise your eyebrow and you get to thinking and jotting down and see if you can take a couple stabs and put a couple units in the best position for this game. So we're going to go down there downtown, hopefully grab some lunch. We're going to go downtown, grab some lunch, see some friends, have a few drinks, watch these games, and have some fun with some sports bettors. I'm gonna try to get some more content. Maybe not on a podcast setting like this, but more so clips on Instagram or even what were we talking about the other day? I forget what it was. It was Instagram, YouTube, and something else that was digestible. Who knows? Could have been TikTok, but they're banned now, so you can thank President Trump for that. I was never on TikTok, but what we're talking about is digestible content. So going down there with a 2-game slate, I always say you can maximize your options. When you have 2 games, that means you can have a point line or a money line in some cases, and you're able to parlay that with an over and under. I've already said things like money lines and parlays and all this. So if you've never heard of bets like that, or maybe you're new to bets and you don't understand sports betting, we're gonna have more content on kind of that beginner take of people who don't know anything about lines, people who don't know anything about sports betting, but you guys know sports. You've been a sports fan your whole life. I could probably draw great research from some listeners and some people at home who've never made a bet in their entire life, but they've watched a certain or particular team or player perhaps, and they've gained knowledge over the years. And that's kind of what I'm talking about here. I want to connect those two people. I want to connect that person who's never made the bet, and I want to connect the person who does make bets. And see where the comparisons and the lines drawn, and see what kind of interesting conversations and talking points we can come through over time. Diehard fans, they'll argue, they'll debate till the very end. And that goes for anybody who holds or who is just passionate about something. They're gonna debate, and they're gonna try to prove their point, which is great, because when people try to prove points, most of the time they try to bring facts to the table, and knowledge is power. So the more facts, the better position we can be in to understand what's going on, whether it's a fight or a game or a match. That being said, same people who are big time fans and who've never made a bet, maybe they're just simply interested to see what's going on in that realm, because when they see ESPN, you'll notice that these sportscasters and whatnot, or even the color commentators during the game, you'll hear them drop ads for DraftKings and FanDuels and these apps that are for sports betting. So someone at home is probably thinking, what the hell is a DraftKings or a FanDuel, when all these avid sports bettors already got 10 lineups on the freaking slate for the night. You know what I mean? So, and they're going to begin to see it on TNT, inside the NBA, and hear Charles Barkley talk about, betting lines. And it's like, well, why is Charles Barkley talking about betting lines before the game? Simply because the trajectory shows that sports betting is on the rise, and sports betting in the whole world, and particularly, America, where we have these major league sports. So it's going to be more common in the household. It's going to be more common on the phone. It's going to be more common on the internet. It's going to be more common in conversation, perhaps. Is it going to affect sports? Is it going to affect the outcome of sports? Is it going to affect the way people hold loyalty to teams? I'm not exactly sure. Obviously that's a far stretch and a far reach when you skew these things. But these are all talking points that I want to dive into and open that realm of possibility. So that being said, I'm going to try to muster up all the good things I possibly can and try to get some valuable content, original content, and hopefully you guys can follow me and others on this journey. And we're going to try to get the ball rolling here for the Bets by Line podcast, Bets by Line YouTube. All right, so thanks for listening. If you made it all the way through, this is one of the first Bets by Line podcast recordings, and we hope to bring some more to you in the future. If you are interested in this, please follow the Instagram at Bets by Line. Hop on YouTube, Bets by Line. That's the name of the YouTube channel. You'll be able to find some podcasts, videos, clips, and other content on there. All right, guys. Thanks a lot.